Welcome back to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio right here on AM 920 The Answer. We're continuing on with our special guest from Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. I'm very, very excited about this. Again, I'm Cleve Gaddis. You're listening to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio. We're here to make real estate clear and simple and worry-free. And if you want to connect with us, it's easy. Go to gogaddisradio.com, GOGADDIS radio.com. You can ask questions that we answer on air or off air. You can make comments, you can push back or challenge things we say, share your ideas with us, subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel, all at gogaddisradio.com. Welcome, Caroline. How are you?
Hi, I am doing great. Excited to be here today.
It is so nice to have you on with us. Now, we have had someone on from Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, or the Children's Miracle Network, which is what RE/MAX is involved in, years and years. And this is the first time I've gotten to meet you. So I just have to ask you as we get started, how did you find your job with Children's Healthcare, and how long have you been in this position? Because you're obviously kind of heading up the Children's Miracle Network program for this particular area, which is very important because all of the money raised here stays here. But anyway, how long have you been involved? Give me a little of your history.
Yeah, for sure. So I am from the Atlanta area, grew up around here.
Nice.
I'm actually a former Children's Healthcare of Atlanta patient. So it's super, super special, and why, a big piece of what inspired me to get into a role like this. So being a former patient, it's really special to me to be able to make that full circle moment and work for a place that helped me and my family so much. But in my current role, I work on our Children's Miracle Network team. We're an awesome team. We each manage a handful of different things. I have the joy of working with our RE/MAX partnership. There's so many different special things that go with that.
I love that. And I have to ask you, and this might be too much, and you can tell me to mind my own business, but if you say I was a former patient, you didn't go there for 30 minutes to get a boo-boo stitch. You were there for a little while. And so you firsthand understand sort of the miracles. Talk about Miracle Network, the miracles that happen at Children's Healthcare.
Yeah, my first stay was inpatient for about a week, and then that followed with about 2.5 years of follow-up treatments, medications, appointments, therapies, physical therapy, occupational therapy, kind of the whole works and everything. So, and it's really neat now that I get to understand that a lot of the amazing equipment and different therapies that Children's Healthcare of Atlanta is able to offer to kids here wouldn't necessarily be possible without the support of Children's Miracle Network and these amazing local partners that work with us through CMN.
That is so interesting. You sort of came through the front door into your job. You got to experience it first and then came to work for them. Well, I say on behalf of everyone here at Modern Traditions Realty Group, welcome. We're very glad to have you. So real quickly, when did the new hospital open? Every time I come north on 85 from the airport, I'm like, oh, that is just a gorgeous freaking building. There was nothing about Scottish Rite or Eggleston that I thought was gorgeous. I mean, they were there, but they weren't gorgeous. This is a good looking hospital. How long has it been there?
So we opened up the Arthur M. Blank Hospital in September of 2024. So that was really exciting to see all that come up.
Just a little over a year. Why is it called the Arthur M. Blank Hospital? I would assume he donated some money, and I guess what I'm asking you is how much cabbage did he have to spend in order to support that hotel? God, why do I keep saying hotel? Hospital. What is wrong with me? It looks like a big Ritz-Carlton.
It truly does, and especially if you ever drive by at night where all the lights are on and we have kind of these like edge lights around the building, it's unreal.
I'm always driving by it at night. Every single time I come home, it's late at night. I'm driving north, and it's just spectacular. But anyway, do you know anything about his support of the hospital? How much money did Arthur M. Blank donate to build the new hospital?
Yes. So Arthur M. Blank came forward with $200 million and an amazing gift to be able to make this hospital happen.
$200 million. That's exactly $200 million more than I could donate. Well, that's not true. That's exactly $199,995,000. That's really amazing. I just can't imagine people, and it's such a great gift. So talk to us a little bit. You said one of your roles is to support the Children's Miracle Network's relationship with RE/MAX. Talk to us a little bit about that relationship. How long has it been going on? How much has been contributed to, either Miracle Network hospitals all over the country or right here in Atlanta, or just give us the details.
Yeah. So Children's Miracle Network is actually made up of 170 different children's hospitals across the country. And what's really, really special about Children's Miracle Network, and I'm a little bit biased, but kind of my favorite part is everything stays local. So if you make a donation in the Atlanta area, that is staying in Atlanta. That is helping kids at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. But if you make a donation in Knoxville, Tennessee, that donation stays local into Knoxville and is helping East Tennessee children. So it's really unique that you're able to, through your donations and through your giving, you're helping kids that are right in your backyard, kids that go to school with your kids, and some, in a lot of cases, since we do serve all 159 counties in Georgia, very well may be helping your own kids or your niece and nephew. You really never know. We see lots and lots of different patients throughout the year, either through our emergency department or through our outpatient therapy centers and our urgent cares that are kind of scattered around there. So truly, it's amazing to see how many people have been touched by Children's in one way or another.
It's amazing. So are there other physical locations of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta hospitals throughout the state?
So we're made up of 3 hospitals right now. So
Okay.
we have the Arthur M. Blank Hospital, which is on our North Druid Hills campus.
Okay.
We have our Scottish Rite Hospital, which is in the Sandy Springs area.
Okay.
And then our Hugh Spalding campus, which is right in the heart of downtown Atlanta, right across the street from
Okay,
Grady.
so everything though is here in Atlanta. So for example,
Yes.
if somebody has something that's traumatic in Valdosta, they might very well put them on a helicopter and send them up here. Is that what I'm understanding? Okay, got it. I didn't know if there were other facilities closer to some of the rural areas, because I know sometimes getting care in those rural areas, not Valdosta is not necessarily a rural area, but you know what I'm talking about, outside of the major metro areas can be problematic.
Yeah, so I actually love that you mentioned that. Currently, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as a system has a rural health program where we're working with medical students from the schools that we're partnered with, and working with them, bringing them out into rural areas to bring that high quality pediatric care out into those rural areas, because so much of the state of Georgia is considered rural.
Yeah.
A lot of those like kind of surrounding counties in the South Georgia and North Georgia as well.
Well, when you have a state, the population's 11 million and 6+ live in right around Metro Atlanta, you know, it doesn't leave too much population to spread out over the rest of the state. So I have a little bit of experience with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta myself, never as a patient, but I had a daughter when she was maybe 2 years old. She actually damaged one of her fingers in the garage door. And long story short, I think it was a babysitter that took her to the hospital, and then we met there at the hospital. And one of the things that I thought was so interesting, and you may or may not recognize this, but the care, we had a pediatric hand surgeon, you know, at the hospital within 45 minutes or an hour or something like that. It was absolutely spectacular, and she's not scarred in any ways or things like that. But what I thought was interesting is they knew how to manage me as a very worried and scared parent. And all I wanted was for my daughter to get the best care. And finally, one of I don't know who it was, let's just call it a nurse, I'm not sure who it was, came over and said, "Hey, Dad, you know, I know exactly what you're trying to do. I know exactly what you're worried about, but you're not helping. You really just need to be quiet and, you know, let us." And but it was a very helpful thing, because I related. And I just think when you're there at a place where people specialize in taking care of kids, and, you know, it takes some support of the patient naturally, but also some support of the parents as well. It's such a significant thing. So we've got about a little over 2 minutes left in this first segment. Are you going to stick with me another segment as well? Because I have a lot more questions.
Yeah,
okay, good.
that's good.
Okay, so you mentioned that you can recognize now the things that the hospital has that the hospital wouldn't have without the money from Children's Miracle Network. And I'd just be curious as if you could share a couple of examples, if you remember them, of what those things are.
Yeah, something that made a big difference for myself as a patient during my patient experience was our facility dogs. I had one of the dogs came by and visited my room, and that was such a special moment, distracting me from all the different things that were going on with my care and everything. And it was so sweet. And I'm a big dog lover myself, so that just made my day.
And could I interrupt and just ask you a question? Because so I've actually met someone who worked for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta who was one of the trainers or managers or the caregivers for the dog. The dog lived at home with her. She'd bring her. I wish I could remember this person's name. I think I might have helped her in a real estate transaction at some point. But that whole program is designed to make you as a kid under a lot of stress relax, right? I mean, that's what the whole program is for.
It's the Canine for Kids program. It's incredible. We have a fleet of 13 dogs right now, I believe. Most of them are golden retrievers, but we have a couple of labs mixed in there. We've had some doodles in the past. Those dogs they are just the best. They know exactly what those kids need and when they need it.
And you think about it, their central nervous system is just in flight mode big time. And I'm sure when that puppy walks in there, that dog walks in there, everything changes. And that's totally fascinating.
Instant calm, instant just joy. It's so special to watch.
And you don't think you'd have that program if it weren't for Children's Miracle Network money?
Yeah, so that is one of the programs that is not necessarily covered by insurance companies in any way, shape, or form. So that is a fully donor-funded program that would not be possible without donors. And because Children's Miracle Network, specifically our RE/MAX donations, it goes into this amazing pool of unrestricted funds. So that means that money can be used where the greatest need is and where those things are happening. So if our physicians come up and say, hey, we need XYZ right now, we can easily just basically snap our fingers and make it happen with those funds. So that's truly so special about the CMN funds.
I love that. We're right at a hard break, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with our special guest, Caroline from Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. We'll see you in just a minute.